content of this channel is for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. You're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. Please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification button. And please, feel free to share the video. Thank you. What's good, everybody? I'm the G with a PhD, and you're tuned in, of course, to the Green Gorilla channel. It's the place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up, with no chases. Now, before I get things started, I want to give a shout out to all of the members of the Green Gorilla channel. So let's start that process. Big ups to Mr. Lumef, Michael Ross, Nelso, Apex Prowler, Kareem Henry, Doc LaRock, Julius Ferguson, B. Hillfire, J. Charles, Mark Hope, Lee Ways, Jeffrey Speed, The Nameless Protagonist, The Face, Rais Muhajid, Mark Swift, Show Me, Black Dog, Odd Collard, Craig, Raphael Brown, Omni Americana, Deanne, Donald Watts, Barry Little, Ryan Jackson, Hip Hop CATV, Coach DC, The Remedy, Kashif Caldwell, Infamous Chillin', I Am Black Man, Nichita, True King 337, May he eternally rest in heaven, Force Windu, Mr. Blue Collar, Barnolas, Kyle J. Sura, I'm Just Jules, The Book of Ronin, Ab Media 83, Damon Harris, Brian McMurray, TD Hip Hop Media, Drew Main, Shop Talk Live, Mr. Heat, Afro Analyst, Isa Abdul Zahir, Sir Anthony, Deshaun Nolly, MLR, Charles Rogers, Universal 178, Blacksword 404, Rashid Barnes, Aaron Smith, DH, See Truth the Revelator, Gold Professor, Black Pill Ned Stark, Arthur Unknown, Dr. Tiasan Johnson, Brian Williams, Kalan Jakala, Ricky Dawson, Cedric Bowman, True 7360, BK Born Shahid, James Washington, Hostile Adept, Seven Coast Dojo, W. Pierre 1, Rogish the Billmonger, I Care, BGS Ibmore, Marvin Battle Jr., Kwaku 217, S. Haywood, Dragon 59, Supreme Ibmore, Adrian Hicks, Jay Bailey, Mr. Michi, NEU, Momal, William Ruffin, and Asangwa. Thank you all for being members of the Green Gorilla channel and for helping me to keep things going and for helping me to get things popping. Y'all deserve a round of applause for the cause. So let's do that. Thank you so much for helping me to maintain this thing and to grow the channel. We're gonna keep stepping. We're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep improving. And if you would like to become a member of the Green Gorilla channel, well, here's how. Well, I screwed that up, didn't I? Here's how for real. Bloopers. What's good, everybody? I'm the G with a PhD, and you're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel, the place where black men can express themselves freely. Straight up, no chaser. Today, I want to introduce you to my new membership program that consists of 5 levels where you can invest in the Green Gorilla channel on a monthly basis and receive level-specific perks. Memberships are special because they improve the quality of the content of the channel and will help me to be able to keep the channel going. Now, to participate in the Green Gorilla channel membership program, all you have to do is hit the join button, which is located right next to the subscribe button on my channel page. Now, for all of my subscribers who decide not to participate in my membership program, nothing will change. The content will keep coming the way it always has. Thanks for watching, and be careful out here, people. Bless. All right, man, I got to get my buttons right on this thing. But anyway, I'm GG, man. You're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. It's the place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up, no chaser. Shout out to everybody in the chat and for all the people who are viewing the video. Shout out to a sower of seed, Elongo Savage, Barry Little, Damon Harris, and the brother who left a comment hours ago, Ray Knowles. What's good to y'all? Salutations and greetings. It's a Monday, man, and you know, I'm tired. But I got to talk about a subject, and I'm going to try to make it as brief as I possibly can, because I'm ready to get back to my own devices, as it were. We want to have a conversation, I think, or I want to have a conversation about high-tech lynching. What it means, what it entails, and I want to demonstrate that it's real. It's real. And it can happen to anyone at any time if you're male. It can happen to any kind of male. But particularly heterosexual males and increasingly black males. All it takes is tears, accusations, and shame. And then you are relegated to social death. These are the facts. These are the facts. It's the first day of Women's History Month. Oh, well. Now, you know, my mother, of course, was a woman. And I've had many great women in my life. But the way women are cavorting around now, today, bears no resemblance to the great women I know. And all the guilting and the shaming and the crying and accusing and the finger pointing and the whining. It's getting on my fucking nerves, man. I'm just being honest. Shots fired. I'm just tired of it. You would think that for some reason, men are spawns from hell. Demons incarnated in human form, sent here with the sole purpose of making women's lives a living hell. That's the way we're portrayed. But I'm here to tell you, that's some bullshit. Tears. That reminds me of the Force MDs. Tears, tears, ooh, how many tears I cry. Man, you know, tears can be weaponized. Tears can be used as a passive-aggressive tool to manipulate you such that you give people what they want. Children do this all the time when they don't get the toys they want at the store. I really want it. I really want it. And what's odd about it is, it's a whole bunch of women, particularly black women, that make fun of white women for their tears. And they call them white tears, white female tears, white women tears, Karen tears, Becky tears. And they have mugs, you know, like little coffee mugs where they say, I drink Becky tears, I drink Karen tears. Really? So what's to stop us, black men, from drinking your tears? What? What's to stop us from drinking your tears? Or not giving a fuck about your pain? What's to stop us? You mocking their tears. You don't give a fuck about their feelings. You don't give a fuck about their emotions. You're able to criticize them, but you don't want to be criticized. I guess you're above reproach, right? Y'all do everything perfect, right? Your record is sterling, right? You're God's little angels, right? Man, that's bullshit. Dracarys. This is why I no longer care about women's tears, especially black women's tears. I just don't care. And when I say I don't care, I mean it. I don't care. I don't give a fuck about your tears. I just don't give a fuck about your tears. I don't. I don't give a fuck about your anger. I don't care about your rage. None of that shit. I don't. And you know why I don't? It's because you don't give a fuck about our pain. You don't give a fuck about our feelings, and you don't give a fuck about our tears. So you just getting back what you putting out there. It just is what it is. It's called karma. If you don't give a fuck about nobody else, why are they supposed to give a fuck about you? If you want people to be accountable and to treat you nicely and to expose the risk you face, well, then you got to turn around, do some introspection, look at your own demographic, and determine what it is also doing to create the same kind of enemy, dysfunction, and pathology. But I don't hear that. I don't see that. I don't experience that. I don't get those admissions. All I get is the constant browbeating, the constant complaining, the constant whining and whinging. When will it come to a close? When will you step up and admit the truth? Not parts and bits of it, but all of it. Not just the pieces of the puzzle that you like to fit together, but the whole picture, the whole puzzle, the entire thing. Then we can begin to talk and have some real conversations. But instead, we're mired in, stuck in this whole shaming and guilting tactic to make you feel bad about walking the earth with a penis, which none of us decided before we were born that we were going to have. We were just born this way. The luck of the draw. From a moral point of view, it's arbitrary if you're male or female. And today we're going to investigate and inquire into the ways in which Black men and boys are subjected to the same kinds of assault, sexually, physically, emotionally, as Black women. But all y'all got is crying and tears and shaming and guilting. It's becoming sickening. How can you walk the earth shaming and guilting and think that it won't come back to you? Because what you put out in the universe, you get back. What you put out there in relation to energy is the energy you get back. If you lead with aggression instead of assertion, when you lead with nastiness instead of cordiality, when you lead with arrogance instead of humility, you get the shit back. You get it back. How many times have you seen women cry in the courtroom? How many times have you seen women cry in your homes? How many times have you seen women cry when there's no fucking reason for them to be crying at all? Tears can be weaponized. Tears, when they're genuine, ought to inspire or invoke genuine empathy. Tears that are weaponized in order for people to engage in passive aggressive behavior so they can manipulate you, gaslight you, and extract from you what they want is evil. And it should be treated and dealt with as such. Time for another time bomb. I feel like I live in an Orwellian world where the only people's pain that matters is women's. I feel like I live in a world in which black men can be killed, gunned down, and black women will complain about them not getting attention related to how much they get shot, even though they get shot and killed by police 20 times less than black men do. But we get relegated to or subjected to necro envy, is what I call it, death envy, and the attention surrounding it. So every time a man dies, there's complaints about, well, you're not paying attention to the women, you're not. Oh. Come on now. We can't even tell the truth about the shit that happens to us because you are not willing to allow us to talk about our own pain. I've been in relationships with women who basically don't want you to show emotion, but they want you to show emotion. They say you have no feelings. Show your feelings more. Soon as you show a feeling, oh, it's not like they're about to explode. You frustrated, you cry. You don't get your way, you cry. You mad, you cry. I'm just tired of giving a fuck about crying. How could you be strong and cry incessantly? How could you be independent and demand protection incessantly? How? How could you demand respect but continuously cry? How could you be the boss and run shit but you cry? Out of nowhere, cry. In the morning, cry. In the noon, cry. In the midnight hour, cry. I cry when I'm happy. I cry when I'm sad. I'm crying when I'm curious. I cry when I'm, fuck, I don't know, man. Just grab one. Genuine tears I can empathize with. But incessant crying, especially showcasing in front of others the tears. Because I've seen some women do some nasty shit behind closed doors. All of a sudden, other people around, they start crying. Why wasn't you in that crying energy when you was putting your hands on motherfuckers? Some white people come around. Somebody else come around. Now you want to flip the script and act like, oh, now you all up in a motherfucking emotional mess. The weaponization of tears. I'm tired of it. But it only works if you give a fuck. It only works if you actually care. But if you keep crying, who's going to care? Who's going to care? But for some reason, it's men. Whatever a woman cries, they come rushing right in. What's wrong? Like they're children, infants. These people are not infants, man. They're grown human beings, most of these people. You say you want to be treated equally. You don't really want that life, man. Because if a man starts crying, maybe if his closest friends are around, they'll try to console him, but they won't let him continue to cry forever. They're going to be like, look, dog, you ain't about to sit here in front of me and have a pity party, dog. Sober up, get your shit together, man, and get back on track. That's how we get treated. Our pain, our vulnerability is scoffed at, laughed at, made a mockery of. But you want us to have all this empathy for you. And in every accusation that's made, you want us to believe you. How is that possible, man? Explain it. Every woman is telling the truth in every situation, on every occasion, about something she's been through every time. Do you really want us to believe that? You can't tell me you want us to believe that. You cannot tell me that you want us to believe every woman every time that she makes an accusation about any man. What if that man is your son? What if that man is your brother? What if that man is your uncle? What if that man is your father or your grandfather and you know he has impeccable character? But fuck them too, huh? Fuck them all, huh? So I guess women don't lie. You're going to tell me women never lie. They never exaggerate. They never embellish. Everything that comes out of a woman's mouth is the truth. All the time. That's what we're supposed to believe, right? What about Emmett Till? Did the woman who basically said that he was fresh with her, did she or did she not lie in a courtroom? Believe all women, huh? All the time, right? What about the thousands and thousands of men who were hung from trees? On nooses because a woman embellished the truth, exaggerated, or lied. Believe all women, huh? Y'all don't believe each other because you know y'all lie to each other. But you never lie about us, though, right? Everything you say about us is the exact truth, just as you say it, huh? Just as you present it, right? You see, I could respect tears. I could respect accusations if you told the whole truth, not just little selective parts of it. Those parts that benefit you, those parts that so-called protect, and I use air quotes when I say protect you. You would think y'all the only people with nervous systems in this motherfucker. You're the only people that experience pain, discomfort, anxiety, depression, fear. Like y'all are the only ones who experience those emotions and the only one capable of having been victims of anything in this world. It's just us, huh? It's just us. Nobody else, just us. Because we know what we are, right? We're all Mr. You see, the tears and the accusations are a form of shaming. They want you to feel bad. They want you to feel guilty. They want you to rush in like damsels in distress, like they are. They want you to rush in and do their bidding, which ultimately is for men to attack each other on their word, on their cue, at their dime, whenever they fucking feel like it. Now, I'm not saying men don't do shit that's fucked up. I've always said men do fucked up shit. But so do you. So does your demographic, your sisterhood. Y'all do fucked up shit too. But you don't hold yourselves accountable for it. You don't call it out. You don't admit that it causes pain. You don't admit that it destroys lives. You don't admit that it's destructive. You don't admit it. You deflect. You minimize. You run around in circles. You avoid it, evade it. This is why we have a problem. You set up tribunals and commissions. You have little secret groups underground where you dox people and shit and try to cancel them. You don't try to solve the problem at its root. You just want to lash out at men because you got some sort of issues with men related to your daddy or some experience you had with a particular individual. But now you want to extrapolate that situation or that particular experience to all men. Tell me how that's just. Some of these women haven't even undergone this shit. Never had any stress, struggle, or pain in their fucking lives. But they've been indoctrinated with fear mongering. I'm still waiting to have a conversation. So you won't come on my show and have a conversation with me. You want to talk to somebody looking nice and talking to you nice and want to get your head right so they can help you achieve and accomplish your goals. But you don't want the truth, though. I'm tired of the tears. If you don't give a fuck about us, and I never started any of this. I started off hoping, praying that whatever disagreements that existed between black men and women could be reconciled through discourse, through conversation. Which, by the way, it seems to me, there are a plethora of white folks who have in the past had these kind of conversations. That's why I showed you the video of the firing line and put it together. That's why I put that video together. Because most of the arguments that we're going through now have already been made beforehand. They've already been had. Already been discussed. But they revisit our doorstep, where they visit our doorsteps in different clothing, in different garb. But underneath is the same body of ideas. The criticisms were valid against those ideas back then, they are now. Now, women who actually suffer from abuse and rape, perhaps maybe I can feel you, but if you don't feel us and admit that at your hands, your demographic hands, the same shit occurs, then I don't got no fucking sorrow for you at all. I have no empathy, no pity for you at all. None. Zero. Zilch. None. And I mean it. It's called reciprocity. If you have no reciprocity for us, or my kind, I have no reciprocity for you. None. No kindred feeling, no nothing. Nothing. And that's fucked up, but that's just the way it is. I gotta compartmentalize. It is what it is. And I'm trying to tell you guys, a lot of people assume that because you're a high profile individual, that you can somehow be freed from this. That all of a sudden, this will evade you. This will, be elusive in relation to you. But it ain't no way to avoid it. It can happen to anybody at any time. Even those persons who consider themselves to be mascots. Yeah, whoever you are. You black, white knight. You black male feminist. You power to the sisters. It can happen to your black ass too. It can happen to your ass too. Now, I'm going to share with you the screen. So let me get to it. And hopefully you can see it. I assume that you can. I have an article by a student whom I just don't I don't have any sympathy for her ass at all. I just don't. So fuck it. I just don't. Because this same trope is used over and over again. And what this shit is, actually, it's a call to white people. It's an appeal to white people on black women's behalf to punish somebody they've designed, or designated as deserving cancellation. I don't want them around me. I don't feel safe. I need to be protected. Is what it is. But you're strong, you're independent. But you need protection. Who the fuck's gonna protect you other than these white people? But I'm reminded of KRS. You were put here to protect us, but who protects us from you? Who protects us from you? Because if you're blameless, and if you're perfect, and if you're sinless, well, fuck it. What are you still doing on the earth for? You have gained the right to apotheosis. Meaning, you need to be with fucking God. Ain't no need to stick here around with the dirties, the sullied and the soiled bodies that exist on the earthly plane. Take your ass to the astral plane then. There's too much knowledge out here, too much evidence out here for you to continue to kick the can down the road and continue to shame and to guilt us as a demographic because of your feelings. It's too much. It's too much to bear. It's a load that no man should walk around carrying. No forgiveness, just vitriol, just venom, irascibility, rage at what? So you can have what and do what? The right to arbitrarily cancel a man's life? After half the time, y'all done raised up a shitstorm, then you want to walk away after you started a fire and then look back and say, oh, look what I did. What kind of sinister shit is this? Let me read through this shit, which is some bullshit to me. And I'd be ashamed to be a fucking goddamn professor at this university with a student body who comes with shit like this in the press. All centered around the boogeyman, the black boogeyman, who doesn't respect black women. They failed us. They failed us. Sexual assault and rape, huh? You want to have that conversation, right? Okay. Hearing about Michael Eric Dyson. You know who he is. This is Michael Eric Dyson. He's the latest high-profile man who's been accused of sexual assault, sexual misconduct, some other shit. Now, we don't know what it is because nobody's actually said what it is. But it can happen to any fucking body. Anywhere at any time. Without even disclosing what the nature of the so-called misconduct is. That's just enough right there. The accusation, the problem, the trouble, the disagreement, whatever the case may be, can be enough to trigger a whole mess of motherfuckers accusing you of some shit and they don't even know the situation. They don't even give a fuck. Even though these women have fathers, brothers, uncles, nephews, the whole kit and caboodle, but they don't give a fuck about none of them. They give a fuck about some stranger somewhere making an accusation. Like they know all women. They're really neat people. None of them are vicious. None of them are pathological. None of them are violent. None of that shit. They're all just fucking good, goody. You know it to be a lie, because some of these women have been malicious to your ass. But anyway, hearing about Michael Eric Dyson's hiring at Vanderbilt, despite his past allegations of sexual misconduct, is very disappointing. So they hired him after he was allegedly engaged in sexual misconduct. No, we don't even know. It's alleged. So anybody who's accused of some shit, cancel that motherfucker. Just because they was accused of this shit, cancel them. Because of your feelings and your tears. What if a motherfucker out the blue said, that motherfucker raped me, and they treated female rape with the same gravity, and they treated it with the same depth as male rape? And they just accuse you of the shit. You know how many times I done been on a job where a woman that came up to me and asked me, how's it hanging? I bet you packing. Rubbing on my fucking pectorals and shit. I had a woman call me at a university who was also a faculty member, called me out of the fucking blue. Never gave her my telephone number. The motherfucker just ended up calling me trying to come on to me. Now, if I would have done some shit like that, I'd have already been subjected to this bullshit, these tribunals. Extrajudicial. All it takes is an accusation. And it's enough for these motherfuckers to rally behind one another and to try to fuck your life up. And I don't give a fuck if you 8 years old or 80. This is some bullshit as far as I'm concerned. And I don't give a fuck about your feelings or your fucking emotions. I just don't. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Because you're not operating upon the truth. And you're not being reciprocitous in the blame. You're blaming it to one fucking demographic, which means you don't give a fuck about that demographic. All you care about is yourself and your sense of self-righteousness and your arrogance and your snobbery. When black women came forward this summer with their experiences of sexual assault, it felt like a moment of solidarity and the potential to push forward to create a safer campus for black women. For black women, only for them now, not a safe campus for every fucking body, but for them. Just them, right? They're the only motherfuckers in danger. This whole female danger shit is a throwback to Victorian womanhood, where women are fucking docile, childlike motherfuckers that need to be protected at every turn from every ill and every problem and every trouble. But you want equality, though. You want to be a leader. You want to be independent and strong and shit, but you cry all the fucking time. You want a whole cadre of administrators and fucking policy chiefs to intervene like referees in your private and personal lives. I don't see shit strong about that. I see a bunch of little girl shit is what I see. Whether you're 8 or 80. Anyway, this hiring feels like one of many setbacks that we black women have to fight against to feel comfortable. We want to feel comfortable. So somebody accused of some shit makes you uncomfortable because, you know, the danger. I hope the Vanderbilt will start to make better choices to protect their black female students. Their black female students. The only students at this motherfucker, right? This summer, multiple black Vanderbilt women came forward, which are privileged motherfuckers. This is a privileged ass institution, man. Let's just get it out the way. Most of these motherfuckers ain't had no struggle none of their lives, never been exposed to anything remotely fucking dangerous. Calls were made to fire the coach, the former head coach of Vanderbilt football, for failing to hold his players accountable for their heinous actions. So now, even if you didn't do shit because you coached some boys or you were a teacher or you were somehow a mentor to some young men, if you don't fucking punish them like you are the fucking law, what you supposed to break out the rack and torture devices and bend and break their bones because something happened to one of y'all? This man ain't a fucking judge. He's not a police officer. All he does is coach fucking football. But you want to get rid of every man everywhere for not what? Shaming and guilting the way you are. So you can feel comfortable. So you can feel protected from the oogity boogities, the danger. So she created a petition, herself and 3 others, demanding change from both athletics and the university. So this petition gained over 800 signatures. That's not a lot as far as I'm concerned, but hey, hours of work, thousands of tears. Tears. Oh, he was accused. He was a coach, and some boys that played football for him did something. I don't like this coach. What has he got to do with the shit? This still is a country where you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And guilt by association, if he wasn't there fucking nobody, raping nobody, how is he accountable for the shit? But see, men don't want to say shit about this because they use shame in order to prevent you from being able to speak out against it. So they were crying, they had frustration, anger, and pain. This the trigger shit. The safe space shit. They want justice not for themselves, not just for themselves, but for others who experienced our pain or pain like ours and worse than ours. What is your pain, lady? You're not coming forth saying you was a rape victim. You're not coming forth saying none of them boys did something to you. At the end of the season, they fired the dude, man. So they cried and they marched and they got the man fired because he didn't punish the boys like he's the fucking law. They didn't take them in and cut their scrotums off and shit after being accused of something. So he deserves to be fired. And this is where we are. And it pisses me off. So anyway, they thought positive change was occurring when the coach, they got him fired. They canceled his ass. So then they began to hire Mike Dyson. But he had also been accused of sexual misconduct. So, we just got rid of one baddie, one boogity, oogity, boogity. No, it's coming. Allegedly. Accused. That's enough in their mind for him never to come anywhere around. Because anytime you're accused, the accusation is true, right? Just because they feel a certain way. Like, what world does this shit work in? What motherfucker can accuse you of something, and then it is what it is, just based on your feelings about it. So anyway, they have a Black Survivors Coalition. They survived sexual assault and misconduct. So they gathered for the final day of a sit-in protest. They warned the president. They warned him, John DeGoya, and administrators, that Michael Dyson was a professor who subjected students to acts of sexual misconduct. Now, they sound like to me he was fucking his students, or one of his students. That's what it sounds like to me. But I don't know what happened. It ain't my fucking business. But that's what it sounds like to me. That's why I would never fuck one of my students. Never. Even if they was baddest bitch in the world. Fattest ass, biggest tits, ass everywhere. No way. No. Because this is the type of shit that can happen. So they had the exchange and it was all caught on video. And he used to work at Georgetown, but now he works at Vanderbilt. So he went through a Title IX investigation, which is a Politburo Stalinist organization run primarily by women to fucking make men feel like there's going to be some punishment. The shit ain't got nothing to do with the court system, the legal system. It is an extrajudicial body. Anyway, during the process, students who were directly affected by Dyson's actions and those who demanded accountability were constantly left in the dark. Accountability for what? What did he do? Now all this shit is alleged. They will let your ass go for an allegation. Motherfuckers can come, he did this, he did that, he did this to me. What's to stop a motherfucker from lying about that? Not saying that all of it is lies, but if you can't prove it, how the fuck do you know it's true? Just by mere dint of the women coming forward? It's a sad day, man, we live in. This shit it's a sad day. Where somebody can accuse you of doing something, and then you got a whole cadre of people willing to punish you for it, and they don't even know what the fuck happened. And then they cry. The only fucking thing they got at their disposal is tears and shame. They don't even have to shame the person who did the shit. They'll shame somebody for being close to somebody else. And many of these people call themselves Christian people. On April 17th, members of the Black Survivors Coalition met with the Georgetown administration to demand updates. In other words, we want them fired. They were told we had a lot of progress on the faculty member by Rosemary Kilkenny, who serves as the head of diversity and inclusion. This response did not answer the questions asked. In other words, they going after her because they want them fired. This shit don't sound like a witch hunt to you? It don't sound like a lynching to you? That's what it sounds like to me. Because we feel it. We know he's wrong. Because these women said so. And we have to believe them, because why wouldn't we believe them? They all are truth tellers. Women never lie. So it didn't calm the anxiety and the fear the students had. They were scared that they were going to get raped. This is white women shit. This is the same shit that happened during Jim Crow and the reason black men got hung from trees. This shit right here. This same bullshit. Anyway, they got an empty response. Hearing this as a vulnerable student, I felt their pain. It took me back to the pain from this summer. This pain. The anger was awakened. The frustration was renewed. The sting of betrayal. And this is the type of shit from Megan Thee Stallion, who admittedly I was wrapping his ass up. All the way from the thoughts and the women talking about she like Captain Hooks and shit, all the way up to representatives in Congress. This is the sentimentality. So at the conclusion of the Title IX investigation, Georgetown University informed the students that Michael would not be teaching not be teaching during the 2020 fall semester. So they forced his resignation is what they did. So he went to look for a job elsewhere. Now this man is high profile. We already know who he is. So that was a small sigh of relief for her. Oh my God. Someone accused him of something and, I'm a female activist. And so he did it and he needs to be fired. They said the same shit in Salem, didn't they? He do be the devil. He's in league with the devil. The devil he be. So anyway, during this meeting, the administration was adamant that this will remain a private matter, blah, blah, blah. And, the following day, it was announced Michael wouldn't be teaching during the spring semester, blah, blah, blah. Accusal. Sexual misconduct. It's public. It's not private. We're going to expose it. All this shit she's saying is she's the one. She's fucking what? The Silence of the Lambs? Clarice? Super sleuth? Solving all fucking matters related to accusations on behalf of fucking women against men? Think about this shit. She's acting like she's the one that solved all the problems. Like, if it weren't for her activism, he wouldn't have got fired. Put the pressure on him. We got him by the balls. Kill men now. Ask me how. Anyway, Vanderbilt University hired the guy. And the Divinity School and the AFAM department brought him in. And so why would they set on bringing a professor accused of sexual misconduct on campus? They fought through their pain, just like they fought through the pain of Derek Mason remaining the coach. Now they have to fight against from another sexual predator. They don't even fucking know. This shit is goddamn slander, is what it is. It's slander. Because you can't say this motherfucker was accused and allegedly, and then the next thing you know, 5-6 paragraphs later, this motherfucker's a full-fledged rapist. Anyway, her heart truly aches for the Vanderbilt community and for those who survived what Michael Dyson did to them. What did he do? You're supposed to know. You done said the man's a predator. Come out. You got your nuts out. Bring them all the way out. Like somebody to work. Like this man is irredeemable, perhaps maybe because he had a sexual relationship, pumped and dumped one of his students. We don't even know the age of the student. We don't even know anything. But we do know Michael Dyson is a predator, right? So anyway, she knew about these atrocities. There was no, what are the atrocities? What was it? What was the atrocity? Anyway, she doesn't know what the future holds for Michael Dyson and Vanderbilt, but she does know that she's very scared. Man, now tell me this shit ain't a witch hunt, man. Tell me it ain't a witch hunt, man. Tell me this is not a witch hunt and not a form of high-tech lynching. Where somebody can accuse you of something and you're guilty just because they say so. You can do what you want, man. You can say what you want. But ask me if I give a fuck about your tears, I don't. You know why I don't? Because you only telling half of the story. You only tell half of the story. You only tell part of the story. Because if the real story was told in its totality, then maybe men would have some shit to fear as well. But fuck our fear, huh? Fuck our vulnerability, huh? Fuck our emotions, huh? Fuck our pain, huh? Fuck us, huh? All to uphold your image of what? Black men is the boogeyman. All for you to keep that going, right? I'm going to say, because I know other people, they ain't going to be at liberty to say. But I'm going to come out and say it. It's some bullshit. It's some bullshit. But here are the facts. Because you got a lot of people watching who might not be aware of the facts. So it's my job to make you aware of what the facts are. The opinions expressed and contained herein are purely green guerrillas. All others, are not attached or connected with the views of mine own. Everything I say for and by myself. But I do have a fact sheet if you'd like to see some facts on the matter. Oh, I got some facts. Let's explore the facts. Anyway, this is a male rape information sheet which contrasts the dominant stereotypes in the media about what rape and sexual assault actually is and who are the victims of it. And who should and who shouldn't be afraid. Who should and who should not be punished. Who should and should not be made to feel shame. And you can find this, all you got to do is look at the link. I left the link in the chat. All you got to do is go there and you'll be able to see it on Dr. Johnson's YouTube page. Again, these sentiments and my reaction is mine, not anybody else's. But anyway, the fact sheet is here. Anyway, the fact sheet basically discloses that information on male rape is fairly recent because rape has always been defined as something only women experience. Now that definition of rape encapsulates males. The findings have severely challenged the prevailing feminist notion that rape is a product of rape culture. They teaching this shit in the college now that there's a rape culture in the United States, that rape is encouraged, that rape is promoted, that men meet secretly and collude with one another on how easy it is to rape women. Which complete bullshit. Is the product of rape culture that focuses on females, but rather highlights that men and women merely have different methods for sexually violating each other and themselves. KT, thank you for your donation. Number one, fact one, 2.78 million men in the U.S. have been victims of sexual assault or rape. Number two, from 1930 to 2012, the FBI defined forcible rape for the purposes of collecting data as the carnal knowledge of a female forcibly and against her will. Eventually, localities began to rebel against that limited gender-bound definition. In 2010, Chicago reported 86,767 cases of rape, but used its own broader definition. So the FBI left out the Chicago stats. Finally, in 2012, the FBI revised its definition and focused on penetration, with no mention of female or force. Although helpful, this definition still ignores made to penetrate situations for males. See below. Number three, a recent analysis of the Bureau of Justice Statistics data, for example, turned up that 46% of male victims reported a female perpetrator. One out of every 4 black men and black women have experienced rape, physical violence, and stalking by an intimate partner in a lifetime. In a survey by Stemple and Meyer, women were more likely to be abused by fellow female inmates and men by guards. And many of those guards were female. Talking about the prison situation. For example, of juveniles reporting staff sexual misconduct, 89% were boys reporting abuse by female staff members. In total, inmates reported an astronomical 900,000 incidents of sexual abuse by female staff members. The CDC invented a category of sexual violence called being made to penetrate. This is the Centers for Disease Control. This definition includes victims, male and female, who were forced to penetrate someone else with their own body parts or a foreign item, either by physical force or coercion, or when the victim was drunk or high or otherwise unable to consent. When those cases were taken into account, the rates of non-consensual sexual activity basically equalized, with 1.270,000 million women and 1.670,000 million men claiming to be victims of sexual violence. That's more men than women. Both 1.1% in 2010 and 1.7 and 1.6 respectively in 2011. The CDC finding that women rape men as often as men rape women. But you don't want to hear that shit though. We just want to protect black women, right? Based on this Victorian notion of pure womanhood. And it's just dangerous. The natives, the uggity buggities. The CDC also reports that men account for over a third of those experiencing another form of sexual violence, sexual coercion, that was defined as being pressured into sex by psychological means, lies or false promises, threats to end the relationship or to spread negative gossip, or making repeated requests for sex and expressing unhappiness at being turned down. As criminologists Richard Felsen and Patrick Cundiff report in a fascinating recent analysis, a 15-year-old male is considered more likely to be sexually assaulted than a woman over 40 years old. Also, the CDC reports that 12.3% of female victims were 10 or younger at the time of their first completed rape victimization. For male victims, that number is 27.8 fucking %. It's a lot of freaky and nasty old ass women out there violating young boys. But you don't want to have a conversation about this shit now, huh? It's just your tears, your accusations, and your guilting and shaming. Well, what about the shame on your group, huh? What about the shame on yours? In the end, when you add up made to penetrate cases, rape by the newer FBI definition, and prison sexual assault rape statistics, men, statistically black men especially, experience rape at much higher rates than women do annually. Motherfucker, end of story, end of fucking discussion. End of discussion. Game over, man. So you can cease and desist with the bullshit. Put the image of Mr. to bed, because it's not an accurate portrayal of reality. But you ain't gonna do that though, because there's power in what you're doing. There's a sense of satisfaction that you get for destroying men's lives. You like that shit. You love this. You get some strange sense of power from this. And DJ MIA, Cardi B admitting to drugging and robbing black men. She should have gotten someone to rape him as well, or she could have gotten somebody to rape him as well, or do it herself if she wanted to. Look, man, this shit goes on routinely, bruh. But everybody loves Cardi, right? You got a situation in which women, you can know that they did some foul shit. They can admit it. They could even have been accused formally in the criminal justice system for the shit, and then they could turn around and become ambassadors for some shit happening to women, even though they doing the same shit. And then men are required to what? Sit back, stand back, and say nothing? Men all over the world are going through this shit. We supposed to not just say nothing? On account of your tears? Man, fuck your tears. To cars. Unless you're really ready and willing to have a real conversation about this, I don't want to hear shit. I don't have no feelings whatsoever, because these people don't want to solve these problems. They don't. They don't care about solving the problems at all. All they care about is their goddamn self. They care about their own feelings and their own so-called sense of security that's predicated on a notion of womanhood that they claim to be trying to destroy in the first motherfucking place. Don't leave your ass alone by no strange ass man. Don't walk your drunk ass with a tight ass skirt or one high up all the way up to the edge of your ass into a room full of 8 guys who's drunk and fucked up at a frat party. Now we got to act like common sense ain't common sense. Look, I'm not saying that men should do anything wrong to women. All I'm saying is, if you don't have no empathy for us and what the fuck we going through, why the fuck should I have any empathy for y'all? Now, those people who've actually gone through the shit and that I know, and I know that they're real, and I know that they're candid, I can roll with them. But not no miscellaneous motherfucker making me, demanding me to start a fucking brigade to gather together a lynch mob to go hurt somebody or destroy somebody because your feelings. And men are the biggest saps and suckers in the fucking world for going along with this shit. Biggest lames in the world for going along with this shit. Now we got to stretch reality to fit in to your ideas about what you should be safe from. And at the same time, we being exposed to the same shit that you are, even more at the hands of your demographic. But you won't come on the show though, huh? You motherfuckers ain't nowhere to be found, huh? You don't want to contact me or wrestle with me, huh? Y'all gonna remain in the motherfucking shadows though, huh? You don't want to come talk to the G. Because I'm going to set it straight, and I'm not going to use white people language to do it. I'm coming at you straight up like a nigga would. Period. A threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Don't judge lest ye be judged. Anytime you point a finger at somebody, it's 3 pointed back at your ass. If you want to solve these problems, we can try to come from a public health perspective, and then maybe we can get a handle on some of this. But from ideology and shaming and guilting and the weaponization of tears and the gaslighting of men, because you refuse to let go of your cognitive bias, fuck that. I have no sympathy for that. None. I don't give a fuck about your fear, your safety, your protection. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Period. Nobody's. If you can't admit that you also subject men to this shit, as men subject women to this shit, if you can't do that, I have no fucks to give. Zero. None. And I hope there is a judgment day one day. I really do hope there is a judgment. And that all of the accounting of all the wrongdoing will be tallied up and your soul will be weighed and judged and balanced on the scales of eternal justice, cosmic justice. I do. I really do hope so. I really hope so. I hope every misdeed, every accusation that is unfounded and unjust, every form of coercion, every form of rage, unforgivingness is met with the same intensity that you put out there in the earth. So you can know what the fuck it feels like. And you ask why I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off because you put it out there. Y'all started this shit. We gonna end it. I'm out this bitch.